Hello, good morning, everybody. And today, in this series of Great Rishis of India, I'm here with you, and I will be discussing one of the very prominent Rishi of India, who his name is Shukracharya. Now, he is so important that he was also important in antiquity, and even today, if we believe in astrology, we are so in that with his policies, his view of life. So let's discuss and know more about Shukracharya. So Shukracharya, if we say, is somebody who is so prominent especially in Hindu religion, because he is one person who believes in supporting Rakshasas, that means demons. And when we talk about Shukracharya as how he became Shukracharya, we must know that he is son of a great rishi, Bhrigu, and it is he is also considered as one of the Sapt rishis. And as I told you, he got lot of education and lot of teaching from many gurus, but ultimately he became a guru of demons, a guru of asuras, daityas, and that creates a different segment or different skill set when we are really learning about the rishi of India. But at this point of time, I would like to really make sure that though he was the rishi of demons, but he never practiced anything which is unethical. So that makes that differentiate. He was so profound, he was so intelligent, and he had knowledge of ras, mantra, and mantras. He dedicated his whole life to really be in good book of Bhagwan Shiv, Lord Shiva, and he gave all his wealth to his disciple who were demons, who were Daitya. And he's also considered as the author of Niti Shastra, which generally it's a combination of Niti Shastra, or we can say political science. And his book or his teaching is called as Shukra Niti, and which we really practice in some part of Hindu culture and Hindu religion. Now, when we talk about his family, he has a very illustrious family, and a very big curse which is associated with his family, and that curse is given to Bhagwan, to God Vishnu. So Shukracharya was the son of Bhrigu, and as you know, we have discussed about Bhrigu's profile and how he has created impact on Hindu religion. So and he is also nephew of Bhakta Prahlad, and we have a very detailed story of Bhakt Prahlad and Bhagwan Vishnu. His first wife, Sage, his father's first wife was Khyati, who was daughter of Daksh. The Daksh, as you know, was the first king of the world, as it is being stated. And Bhrigu was also having a daughter by the name of Lakshmi, and later on she married God Vishnu, and he had two sons, Data and Vidata. A part of this, he has a smaller son by the name of Usna, and it is said that later on he became Shukracharya, and this name is being earned his association with Shiva, who converted him Shukracharya. As you know, in Hindi, Shukra means sperm. And when we discuss about Shukracharya, he is being associated with life and with happiness, with a lot of happening blossoms. Everything is associated with Shukracharya. Now, as we know that we there were so many battles we fought with devatas. Devatas means God, and there were many battles between gods and demons, and all is being guided and fought in the supervision of Shukracharya in when we are talking about the Daityas, and this is how things were going at that point of time. And later on we realized that the demons are being killed, and they every time getting not getting victory. So all this really make him think to get a very crucial, very important science, or science of creating life out of death, and that's we call it Sanjeevani. Sanjeevani Vidya, that means somebody who's dead, you can bring him or her to life, and that Vidya is only known to Bhagwan Shiv. But then the Shukracharya has done lot of tapasya and lot of meditation to please God Shiva, and later on he came and he has provided that Vidya with a caution that please do not use it casually or loosely, because this is very important Vidya. And there's very one story which is very much associated with Shukracharya's his mother's story, and it is like this. Once upon a time, there was a fought which is there was a fight which was going on, and at that point of time in Patal Lok, the Patal Lok means where demons live. Shukracharya left his mother by saying, Kathy, her name is Kathy, as I was telling you, and Shukracharya told her to stay here. In the meantime, I'm coming within maybe in few minutes or maybe in half an hour. You be here, and I have to finish some work elsewhere. And he asked his mother to stay there, don't go anywhere, because if you really see the profile of Khyati, the daughter of Daksha, it is also very profound. And in the meantime, Indra, the god of heavens, he came and started fighting with the demons and started killing them. And at that point of time, Khyati, the wife of Bhrigu and mother of Shankaracharya, she actually stunned Indra, and he became like a statue. And then he asked for the help from Vishnu, and then Vishnu came, and then there was argument between Vishnu and Khyati, and eventually Vishnu killed Khyati. And when Bhrigu came to know about this, and he became very angry. As if you want to really know about Bhrigu, we have done a whole series of Bhrigu, and we find what kind of high profile Rishi was he when we discuss about his achievement. Now, going forward is that when Bhrigu came to know who was Khyati's husband, and he cursed Vishnu that the way my wife is killed, I mean Khyati is killed, and we cannot really make her alive, because since it is done by God. So, but I will give you a curse that you will go through all these kind of birth and death. Process, and that means as we were discussing about the salvation, the God will be in the circle all the time, getting the pain of birth and death, and this is the curse which is given by the Prabhu, and that is how we know Vishnu being incarnation in the form of different gods on earth, and help mankind to achieve the greater happiness and love. Now, moving forward, when how really he choose? I mean, the Shukracharya choose to become the guide for demons, guide of asuras, and we have a very interesting story. It is said that that Usna, which was his pet name, and he reached to adolescent age and he went to sage Angira, who himself, we want to know more about Angira. It's there in our previous series. You will find out the all details and achievement of Rishi Angira. Now, when Angira was a teacher to Shukracharya and his son Brahaspati. So Brahaspati was a son of Angira, and Brahaspati used to study along with Shukracharya, but in the process Angira realized that Shukracharya is a very bright person. He has sharp-witted, he can understand things very well as compared to Brahaspati, and that's why he started giving favors to Brahaspati, and this is not being accepted by Shukracharya. He had a thought that being such a illuminous rishi, in spite of this, he is not free from these small things that he is giving favor. He is not actually looking towards the fact that the one who is intelligent, but in this process he is favoring his son. And Shukra was sharp witted, but he's being ignored by his teacher, who's Angira Rishi, and that really made Shukracharya very unhappy and angry, and he really looked into the preferential treatment which is being done to Brahaspati, and then he decided that there's no point to argue with Rishi Angira. And later on, when the selection of Guru of Devta has emerged, and then again Angira favored Brahaspati, and eventually Brahaspati became the guide and Guru of Devtas, and whereas Shukracharya decided that now he will become the guide and Guru of demons to guide them, because he really felt the need that there has to be somebody who can guide demons, who can guide asuras, because they also need guidance. And in this process, he thought he will make things right, more lawful and more good, and then he will create a balance between demons and gods. So this is how he became the Rishi of demons. And Shukracharya is also called as the father of Niti Shastra and the Venus policy, which is considered very important. And that is why somebody who believes in astrology will find the importance of Shukra Graha planet is so important. And as I was telling, is related to Siemens, and Siemens is related to birth, and that's give Shukracharya a very prominent place when we are talking about his profile and his place in antiquity, and even that place is being he's being enjoyed in even today in modern Hindu family places and worship, and of course in astrology. Now, when we want to know about Shukracharya, I would also just elaborate a little more about him. He had two wives, Jayanti and Gau. As per Matsya Puran, he is very smart. He used to be light-skinned, and he used to ride chariot with 8 horses. And you can visualize a person who's riding in a chariot which is being run by 7 to 8 white horses. That would have been a very magnificent scene to really look at him. He holds a dant as a weapon, and he used to wear a very beautiful crown, which is when you see the pictures of Shukracharya, we will see that particular crown is kind of identification of Shukracharya. And he used to carry a vessel which is called Rudrakshamala Patra, and he is very, very profound in his appearance, and people used to love him, and they used to give way whenever he was on the way. There was no person who can really cross his way when he is riding the chariot. And later on, the story of Shukra is associated with how he's converted to a seaman by God Shiva, and that is again to make to help mankind in terms of new life, beginning of earth, and it also helped to stop, calm down the rains which was there in the beginning, as we'll find there was a lot of acid rains were there on earth before, so that being stopped by Venus, and that is being stated in many of the Puranas. And then to provide happiness to human beings and animals, that is peace, satisfaction, food, and everything which was there. And that is how Shukra as a planet is responsible about doing great things. And going forward, about Sanjeevani mantra. And when we talk about Sanjeevani mantra, there are few stories which are also associated. And why Sanjeevani mantra was so important for Shukracharya, because he want to save some of the well-behaved, or maybe people of not people, I mean demons who are more inclined to righteous way of life, and when in war they were killed by gods, it became very important for Shukracharya to make dead alive, to really ensure the goodness to prevail, especially in the segment in the household of demons. So that's why it's very interesting, and this will also be can be given by God Shiva, and who had that Sanjeevani art to bring a life from the dead. So that is how it started, and then he had done so many severe worship of God Shiva, and eventually he put himself upside down, and he hanged himself upside down. And it is said in many of the books that he used to inhale the burnt leaves, and it was very difficult. It became very difficult for him to really keep on in that position. As you know, that mind is due to gravity, the blood flow which will be downwards, and it was very difficult for Shukracharya to be in that position. But he continued, and by seeing all this, what happened, Indra, the god of Devta, didn't want him to succeed in getting Sanjeevani mantra, because it even actually, if he is having Sanjeevani mantra, he will give dead demons to life, and that will be a problem for Devta. So he didn't wanted to succeed, Shukracharya to get success in that. But so how he has to prevent it? So ultimately Indra asked his daughter Jayanti to really interrupt his tapasya by adding chilies to these burned leaves, and she obeyed Indra, who was her father, and eventually she done that. And it is said that after this whole process, and she want to interrupt, she want to give pain to Shukracharya, and she succeeded in that, but because while hanging upside down, his blood oozed out from eyes and mouth. And when Jayanti saw that, she really got panicked, and she said no. And this is in this whole process, God Shiv also came to rescue Shukracharya, and he became very happy, and God provided this Sanjeevani mantra to Shukracharya, with a caution that please do not use it loosely. Now, going forward, there was a war. We have to discuss war between demons and gods, because that's how rise of Shukracharya is also associated with. We have to keep this in mind, that Shukracharya always stood for righteous thing, not the bad things. The right. That's why he is said to be father of Niti Shastra, somebody who believes in policies and policies for goodness. So when we are talking about the war, and there's a very popular war of Elavat, and generally it is said that the Elavat, which were situated around somewhere in Russia and in antiquity, and that is a part of whole Jambudipe, which we are generally call the whole Jambudipe, the whole Bharatvarsh is in ancient times called Jambudipe. The last time the Indra had a war with Hiranyakashyap to save the Prahlad, who was a grandson. Then and there are so many war which is being fought between gods and demons, but we should also remember that the place of war was always Elavat, and there were almost approximately 12 war which were fought between the Devtas and demons, and this is how it became a popular place to remember that how the demons and Devta participated in this war. And in the last war, it is said that even King Dashrath, who is father of great Ram, was also part of the God's army, and he fought against demons. So this is how things has to be discussed when we are discussing about Shukracharya and his association with demon as a whole. Now coming to the Venus policy, and when we talk about Shukra policy, as we say, as we know that Shukra was a very good scholar. He has stated a policy that holds a very importance, not even in antiquity but also in current times. And his policy, as we call, is Shukra policy or Venus policy, considered important even in public life even today. Now I would also want to add here that all this policy is being established by him, and his sons and daughter was also part of this policy. In Rig Veda, there's a depiction of mantra which composed by Bhrigu Vansh Rishi, and this is been, so many mantras are there, and when we talk about these mantras, it is all in Sanskrit, and Sanskrit is a very scientific language, and when the huge amount of information can be given in 2 lines, that is the magic of Sanskrit. And the whole Shukra policy, Shukra Niti, is being established by Shukracharya. Now there is a very interesting story related to Suprachara Daughter, and I'm sure you must have read the story of Devyani and Yayati, but again I'm repeating this story. The Devyani was the only daughter who is in very beautiful. She was very intelligent, and she had a proud that she's a daughter of Shukracharya, and same Shukracharya was very fond of his daughter. So as you know that Shukracharya used to live in those places where those places which belongs to demons, and same he was living at a demon king at one point of time. And what happened, the demon king had a daughter, Sharmishta, and Sharmishta and Devyani were great friends. Once upon a time they were taking bath in one of the river which was flowing in that area, and Shiva came along with his ganas, along with his party, and then they realized that Shiva is coming, and they came out of the river and they started dressing up. But by mistake, Sharmishta wore the cloth of Devyani, and when Devyani realized that he has taken her cloth, and Devyani became very angry because she was high-headed, and she had idea that she belongs to a very powerful lineage of rishis, and Shukracharya is Rishi is father, and who is very profound, and every demon follows whatever Shukracharya says to them, and that made her little proud compared to other girls who are around. And Sharmisha, being a king's daughter, she also stick to her grounds, and she said, okay, fine, I'm king's daughter, how can you really speak like this? And ultimately there was a small big fight, and there was a well. Somehow Sharmishta pushed Devyani into the well. She fell on the well, and Sharmishta, who was king's daughter, and she was so angry, and she left Devyani in that well and went to the palace. And in the meantime, there was a king, Yayati, who came, and Devyani asked help from Yayati, and Yayati rescued her from the well. And in the meantime, Sharmishta, who went to the palace and discussed all what happened between her and Devyani, and the king, who was really scared of this incident, and he went to Shukracharya, the demon king. He said, please, this is what happened between these two girls, and I am saying sorry on the behalf of Sharmishta. But Shukracharya said, okay, I have no issues because this is a children fight. I think Devyani is very angry. She has reached, by the time Devyani has reached to house, and Shukracharya suggested this demon king to really talk to Devyani, because Devyani was very Shukracharya was very fond of Devyani. So ultimately the king went to Devyani, and Devyani was so high. No, I will not say, and she'll not get away just by saying sorry. She has to bear the punishment, and this is how Devyani asked Sharmishta to become her maid, and the king could not say anything, because after all he was addressing Shukracharya's daughter, who is Devyani. So ultimately Sharmishta became maid of Devyani. And in the meantime, Yayati, who rescued Devyani, and he expressed to marry Devyani, and found a good, suitable life partner in Devyani. And Shukracharya was happy with this decision of Yayati, and both were married. And when the marriage happened, Sharmishta as maid went to Yayati's house and that palace, and later on Sharmishta also knew the king, and she said that I'm also princess, how can I was being treated as a maid at my place, and here in a different palace also I am being treated as a maid servant, but I belong to a royal family because I am a daughter of king. So, and Yayati really pity on her, and he also married her. So Devyani had two sons, and Sharmishta has three sons from Yayati. Later they became the lineage of a profound lineage, and this is how we have already discussed the details of this lineage in our previous episode. Now going forward, so this is a very interesting story which is associated with Shukracharya. Now, when we talk about Shukracharya, I would like to add that he was a very good musician and poet, and she has a distinguished being a best musician of that time. And his name is associated with symbol of unity, because why symbol of unity? Because he always worked towards uniting and making less challenges for gods and for demons, so that everybody can live in peace. And this is a great initiative which is done on the behalf of Shukracharya, you can really realize or you can visualize how difficult it would have been for Shukracharya to work on that platform and creating a unity. And that's why he's called the unity of the symbol of unity, and that's why he is great. Now, when Vishnu asked for 3 feet of land, there's a story associated with him. Very small story I just want to share with you, because one of his eye got injured in through this story. So you must have heard the story of King Bali and Vishnu in the form of Vaman avatar. So then Bali has decided to give whatever the small pandit, the small Vaman avatar Vishnu was asking, that is 3 a foot of land, and he said, I will be giving it. But Shukracharya, being a guru of demon, want to restrict Bali from doing that, because Bali belonged to the demon clan. And but Bali, who was considered as one of the great somebody who donates everything, so he said, no, I will have to give, since I always give, and this is how I am popular among my masses, and once I will not do this charity, then that will be bad name on me. So that's, he said, he didn't listen to Shukracharya to stop him, because when we do any vow, we have to put water on our palm and then take a vow. So he was putting water on his palm, the Bali, the king, who was putting water, and he stopped that water outlay, putting his one eye, since he was he knew how to really to cure himself, because he was Sanjeevani, he was a master of Sanjeevani mantra. So he put his one of his eye and put in the outlet of the water jar, and when water was not coming out, so the king Bali put one grass part of grass into that, and that broke his eyes. That's why he became one eye, and he is also called Ekaksh. Besides Shukracharya, he is also called as Ekaksh. So this is few stories which are associated with Shukracharya, and why I am sharing these Shukracharya is because he is the important aspect of our Hindu religion. We always want when we are discussing astrology to be an appropriate place. Shukra, Venus planet should be an appropriate place when to get happiness, to get peace, to get pleasures in our life, and Shukra as a planet really plays a vital role. So when Shukracharya was alive, he contributed and became a symbol of unity. When he died, when he's no more, he must be there somewhere, but when he has turned himself into planet, again he is helping mankind and achieve life through his association, and this is how his contribution is immense. And I would advise everybody to read more about Shukracharya, understand his profile and his giving to mankind. So we'll be meeting again with few other descriptions of the Rishis. Till then, you remain happy and keep doing good work.